Okay, good morning. Before this video starts, I'd like to say a couple of things. So I figured I would just throw my hat on here because nobody wants to see this. And just talk about the couple of things before the video starts. Number one, I forget what the hell I was going to say. What the hell was I going to say? Oh, 8530, working. Don't seem to have any problems. Big baler, back together, working. Problem was a loose nut, very loose nut on the cam follower. There's this cast iron piece that goes onto the bar. It's cast steel or forged steel on the bar, and there was a nut that was really loose, and it was allowing a lot of play in the end of the bearing. I'm still going to call Gerald this morning and find out what the hell his thoughts on it are. And third thing is we've got the upcoming Kim Jong-un and Donald Trump meeting going to happen, in a couple of days, on the 12th. So, remember a few years back they came out with a movie. It was called The Interview, and, they're like, okay, you got to put the little strip on your hand when you shake the president's hand or the supreme leader's hand. That's going to kill him. Wouldn't it be ironic if Kim Jong-un had come up with a little strip of cyanide to put on his hand to kill the president? Not that I want that to happen, but what I'm saying is, wouldn't it be kind of ironic, and that could happen? And I hope they pretty much do a strip search on that guy, because it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility, But that's just my sick thoughts for the day on the Kim Jong-un and the President Donald Trump's meeting, which will go down in history, by the way, because there hasn't been a president of the United States in North Korea ever, not in 70 years, not in 75 years, but ever, because North Korea was created after the fall of the Japanese in World War II. And the communist regime that took over was put in place by the lovely Soviet Union. I solemnly swear that I'm up to no good. So, no matter what happens at this meeting, whether good, bad, or nothing happens at this meeting, it's going to go down in history for both leaders of both sides, whether it's Kim Jong-un or President Donald J. Trump. Yes, he is the president of the United States, whether you like to believe it or not. He is, and he is not going to get impeached, but he will go down in the history books as being the guy to call the little fat man many different names and then come to the table to negotiate a peace treaty or even a reunification of the two countries, which I would love to see. There's no point in having two separate countries, one that is thriving on capitalist society that was put in place by the United States of America, or the one that is starving to death and striving for nuclear supremacy on the same peninsula that was put in place by the Soviet Union. Those are first world, second world countries. South Korea being the first world, North Korea being second world, and I love it when people say, "Oh, well, that's it's a third world country." Well, it's not. It's actually a second world country that's affiliated with the Soviet Union. Third world country would be like Switzerland. Yes, believe it or not, Switzerland is a third world country because they have no affiliation with either of the two superpowers of the time. At the time that was phrased, that term was phrased. First, second, and third world countries. First world, the United States. Second world's Russia, aligned with Russia. Third world has no affiliation whatsoever. The other country that I love so much, the Philippines, that is a third world country, not because it is impoverished, because it really isn't super impoverished. There's places that are, but because it no longer affiliates itself with the United States. That ended in 1947. So, yeah, I think it was 1947 is when that affiliation, we turned them back over to govern themselves, which they fell into despair under Ferdinand Marcos, which plummeted them into poverty while Ferdinand Marcos became very wealthy. So, anyway, with that being said, enough of the history lesson. Enjoy the video. Thank you. Okay, so I'm baling. I'm running the 8530, obviously. I was reading a couple of comments on today's video, or yesterday's video now, but about what other two tractors I had that will run this beast behind me. Well, the 8120 will run this pretty comfortably, and the 4960 will run that very comfortably, you know, prospectively on flat land, and that's what I'm on right now. When you get out into fields that are hilly and stuff, then you start running into problems with the lesser horsepower tractors. And if I really had to, I could actually run this with the 7810, and, you know, not an ideal tractor to run it with, but it will work. I'm filming this guy here. But anyways, I have just baled a little over 300 bales between yesterday and this morning, and that's pretty good. It's kind of funny. The hay is dry. The pressures are right where it should be for about 15 to 20% moisture, so I'm in that 17.5% moisture average range right now. And the bales are weighing about 100 to 150 pounds each more, with a little less pressure than I'm normally running, like last year. I'm not having any trouble at all with the knotters or string breaking. I did have one string break over there, but that's because I was off sides with more hay on one side of the bale than the other. Everything is working wonderfully. The hay is dry. I mean, we're where we want to be for what I'm doing. The only thing I can contribute the heavier bales to would be the amount of potash and sulfur that I put on the ground, and that makes a big difference in any crop. You know, you can grow a volume crop that is light because there's no nutrition left in the soil, and I've done that over the years. Just threw nitrogen down and said, all right, that'll be good. Well, eventually that catches up with you and it bites you in the ass. So the last couple of years I've been putting down pretty decent amounts of potash and sulfur to make up for those problems, and it seems to be paying off right now. Last year, with the same size bale, a little more pressure on the boards, I was only in that 1350 to 1450 pound range, and I'm at the bale that is just falling off right now. It made a liar out of me. The bale before that was 1,548 pounds, and this one that just fell off is a light one. It's 1,382. So, yeah, whatever. There's the anomaly, you know, the one bale that I'm talking about, and it just so happens it turns out at 1,382, whereas the previous ones were much heavier. And but whatever, such is life. But anyways, what I was saying was, up until that bale, I've been pretty consistent in that, you know, 15 to 1,700 pound range, and they're dry. I mean, my pressures on the upper side here, they're at 1,500 right now. They were at 1,800 a little bit ago, so there's maybe a little more dampness in this, but not much, but still within that range. So I'm pretty happy. As far as the 8530 is running, perfect. I'm not having any issues whatsoever. Alright, there's a 1,500 pound bale. I'll prove it to you. So, right there it is, 1,500 pounds. And that's really where I want to be. I'm putting 30 bales on a load. If I go any more than that on my truck, I'll be overweight. With Carl's truck, you know, he's like 5,000 pounds lighter than me without anything on, just with the truck and that trailer. So, you know, it's a good happy medium there. That's where I want to be. So anyway, yeah, as far as the 8530's running, as you can tell, it's quieter. It's not singing as much as it had been in the past. The pressure, I guess, is correct. The screen is clean, obviously. I've got about, I don't know, I think I got about 6 hours on the tractor now since I pulled that screen out and cleaned it. I have not had one mishap on the shifting at all. and I should have by now, you know, in that 6 hours. Normally it would take about 45 minutes for the tractor to come up to temperature and then have a mishap, but I'm not having that issue. So I guess whoever corrected the problems in the past on this tractor never did a proper clean out on the screen, which doesn't surprise me because in the operator's manual there is a section on how to change the oil on this tractor. Wait a second. It's a procedure that is confusing. They basically go through the whole setup between the two transmissions that are available. The auto power or IVT transmission like this one has in it. And then there is the power shift transmission that this tractor does not have in it. Now, the power shift transmission only has the one screen in it, whereas the auto power, like this one, has two. But they don't say that there's two screens for the auto power. They just say, oh, if you have auto power, you got to clean the screen. And they don't really say, oh, by the way, there's two screens in the auto power, and you need to, or IVT, and you need to drop the pan to make this screen visible, where you can actually take the screen out. It doesn't say that. And I read that book 6, 7, 8 times, maybe more, and wondering what in the hell they're talking about, this auto power and that screen, because they don't say there's two. They just say auto power, you have to do this one screen. But it also says that you have, and it also shows a picture of the screen behind the main pipe and the main differential housing. So it's a little confusing as to if there's a screen in there or if there's two screens in there, and I can see where someone would be confused because, quite honestly, this is the second hydraulic oil change that I've done on this tractor, and the sad thing is, last year I didn't check that screen because I did not know it existed, and it was clear as mud, as I would say. So, but now I know, and hopefully I can get some information out onto the internet that if you have one of these tractors, whether it's an 82, 3, 4, 5, 30 John Deere tractor, and you have the auto power IVT transmission, you are going to have to drop the pan. There's a black pan in underneath there. You drop that away, and it will expose a plug that is horizontal, not vertical. And you'll see it, and you'll be like, oh, so that's what they're talking about. So I hope anybody that's watching this that has this type of transmission, that you understand that there's actually more to it than just the one screen. But anyway, with that being said, the tractor's running beautifully. I mean, I've got no issues whatsoever so far, and I've been running, like I said, about 6 hours, and you know, I'm not running it easy. It's, you know, I'm pulling the stick forward and back, doing like I normally would. I'm not doing anything that's like, oh, I'm gonna baby it so that it heals itself, because we all know that steel don't heal. So anyway, but this is my view for the day. We were supposed to get rain this afternoon. We've got somewhere around a 30% chance. And if you look off my nose, you'll see that my nephew Grant is over there. He's 15 years old, and he is running the 4450 with the hay rake on behind it. Actually, that's not the Peckway, that's the H&S. 2160, I guess, is what they're calling that. And no, it's doing a really good job. He's doing a really good job taking care of that field for me there. I need to actually cool it off in here. The air conditioner's it's getting warm outside, but the hay looks beautiful. I mean, this is feed quality hay here. And if you don't believe me, I mean, just look at that bale. I can smell that thing through the cab. Smells so nice. But anyway, with that being said, I guess I'm done yammering on for right now. Yeah, I'm just going to be bailing all day, and I'll let you all know if there is an issue that arises with this thing. I am going to pull the screen after 10 hours and check it out. The problem with pulling that screen after 10 hours is it's probably going to dump a fair amount of oil out, and which is okay. I don't mind, you know, the oil, and I can screen it and send it back through, unless there's a bunch of crap in it, which I'm hoping there is not. But, you know, what are you going to do? But I'm going to share all the information that I have on this tractor and transmission, because there's a lot of people that are very interested into whether it's going to be a major teardown or not. And to answer that question, if it is a major teardown, I will be the guy to do it. I'm not going to take it to deer country. It would cost me somewhere between $30,000 and $45,000 for them to do what they would have to do to it. And like most farmers out there, I mean, I know there's a lot of guys out there that are watching and saying, man, this man seems to have an endless pot of money. Well, I don't, you know. I mean, I got bills to pay too. I owe people too. I do have to have fresh equipment to do the jobs that I'm doing in order to do it efficiently, and I do have loans, so it's not all paid for, just like anything else. This tractor is actually paid for, though. I was able to get it paid off within a year of purchasing it. Kudos to me, both this and the 7530. But, you know, the fertilizer bill comes, the seed bill comes, that's hundreds of thousands of dollars, more than $200,000 in seed and fertilizer this year. So, you know, just like everybody else, I'm a farmer, and $40,000 transmissions can really make or break you in the end. So, hopefully, we're keeping my fingers crossed. I've corrected the problem with a plugged screen. Anyways, thanks for watching. Watch what he's doing.
Wow.
Now watch. We'll go down there. I bet he doesn't even stop to unhook it. Watch this. Ready? Does he drop it? Yeah. Okay, so he stops and he's unhooked. See how easy that was?
Wow. So you only have like a button or something?
Yeah, it's just a cable. You pull the cable.
Neat.
And now he picks up the valve.